Alright, here we have a basic frigate setup. You see here that 99% dodge chance, average strike of weapons, which means that it's going to be fairly well against your typical medium ship and anything larger than it. The 75% resistance to zero penetration weapons is your basic like shield frigate, things like that. But it is going to be weak against a pulse cannon eagle. Because again, pulse cannon eagles have 5 penetration and they're also impossible speed. So you have your Gatling set up here, which is going to deal your 300 damage, but only against things such as fighters. Your Tessuto here is what provides you the 75% resistance to the zero penetration weapons. Your Ox Thruster makes this frigate extreme mobility, which is going to give it the high dodge rate and able to compete with fighters. The Pulse Cannon Eagle, the fastest ship in the game, impossible speed, with a pulse cannon. It's a very simple ship to build, but it does lose to a Shield Havoc simply because it only has 1000 HP and it'll go down if something can hit it. Your Shield Havoc, a lot of HP for a fighter. It should be a staple in most of your bases that you have a reserve of 10 fighters in. You should just have some of these in there. And the AC-200, of course, has a 50% chance of penetrating shields. That's why this has an AC-200 rather than a pulse cannon, because if it were to just have a pulse cannon, then it would lose a fight against a Havoc that has an AC-200. Because the 50% chance to penetrate through shields is what'll win the fight against another Shield Havoc. This is also completely useless against ships because it has 0 penetration. It'll just do nothing against them. Your Rocket Falcon. This has a ridiculous speed, which is 1 stage slower than a Pulse Eagle, but it'll destroy medium and large ships because the rockets have 3 penetration and it deals 800 damage. But it is also weak against frigates and fighters. Alright, the frigate I just showed you a while ago, this here, with its tracking from the Gatlings, will completely obliterate this Rocket Falcon pretty quick because it only has an 850 HP. But if this Rocket Falcon could, for example, goes against a light cruiser or a heavy cruiser, it's going to completely destroy them, simply because it's too fast for them to hit, but it can sit there and break their armor all day long. The anti-fighter kind of basic destroyer. The laser cannons here are fast enough tracking that it destroys the previous frigate I showed. But it also destroys most fighters. It's still weak against the Eagles, but it can handle the rest of them. But it's generally pretty weak against other ships. It's not useless against other ships. It's just weak against them. Because the laser cannons do have penetration, so it can burn through armor. And it does have enough armor itself to last a little while in a fight. It's just not as effective in a straight fight against another medium ship that is more equipped to deal with other mediums.